Hi guys, welcome back to my little YouTube channel, Psychic in the City. For those that don't know me, my name's Seán McGeough and I'm a psychic medium based in Belfast. So for those that do know me will know that I have been doing quite a lot of Facebook Lives, doing readings, explaining different topics, answering any questions that people may have. So I thought I'd make the transition over to YouTube so people would have the videos to watch whenever they wanted rather than have to join in live at a certain time and always lose the videos after so many posts. So today's video is, am I psychic? Am I a medium? What actually is the difference between the two? So first I would want to start with clarifying that all mediums are psychic, but not all psychics are mediums. So every medium that you will have a reading with will have psychic abilities. But not everybody that gives psychic readings have the mediumship ability with them. So there is two actual differences between them. So the psychic is the one that is a reading that is solely all about you and your life. Who you are, what's going on with you, what has went on with you, and can give a potential outcome over the next wee while. Now, a psychic is not a fortune teller. That's a very, very different thing. A psychic can tap in to your energy using whatever tools that they use. I love my tarot. I use the Faulkner Tarot, the first modern black and white deck of cards depicting images of everyday life, to step away from the darker, scarier images you find in more traditional tarot. But that's enough about those. I'll talk about those probably on every video. So a psychic has the ability to tap into your aura using whatever tools that they use. They mightn't even use tools, they may just read your aura in order to give you the information that they need. And a good psychic has trained and developed their ability so much to the point that they can read the energy and it will tell a story about you. Now, everybody that has a head on their shoulders has an innate intuitive ability, which means that, do you ever walk into a room and you go, oh, mummy's a wee bit annoyed here, without even speaking to her? That is your intuitive ability, and everybody has that. It comes from our solar plexus chakra, the chakra that is our psychic center, where we work on our gut feeling, our intuition, and that is the psychic side. It's just psychics will sit and develop through whatever means that they do, whether it be sitting in the power regularly, which is a must, joining a development group, taking various workshops, courses, things like that, in order to fine-tune their abilities. So a psychic reading is a reading that is all about you, nothing really to do with spirit. In saying that, there are some amazing psychics out there that do have the ability to tell you that there is a loved one with you during a reading. They mightn't want to work with spirit, that mightn't be where their abilities lie, that mightn't be something that they want to do, but they have that ability to go, oh, dad is here or mum is here, and maybe pass on that wee message, because we are all spirit at the end of the day. So why can we not connect with spirit that have passed on? So a psychic is someone that offers tarot readings, palm readings, angel cards, runes, anything like that, in order to give guidance and direction in your life. Fortune telling, very different. Now, whenever a psychic does make a prediction, it is very much up to you whether that works, whether you go ahead and you work towards that happening. And a reading should not be solely based on predictions. So you may have had readings where you were told you're going to move house or get a new job or meet somebody, and that doesn't happen. That's because God gave us free will. So that's only based on the energy that you're given out at the time. So, you need to work towards these things rather than just, oh, the psychic told me and that's it. Now, a lot of people that come to me in my practice, so to speak, would show different signs of having a very strong psychic ability. And one of the most common things is dreams, or a feeling of deja vu, where they will dream something and it will happen. And I find that more and more is very common, especially over the past year or two, that people are going, oh, I had a dream and this had happened and it happened in real life, what does that mean? Or I get a feeling that, a certain situation's going to work out a certain way, and it does. Well, that would be your own psychic ability, that would be your own intuitive ability, letting you know what to do, or maybe giving you a heads up. Now, it doesn't always have to be bad things like someone's going to die or ill health or anything like that. My opinion, and this is solely my opinion, is we will not pick up things like that unless you're fully aware of it. So there is that sort of wee grey area where, have you been told during a reading that someone isn't well and they're not going to make it? Well, were you fully aware of that? So psychic is anything to do of the self, because it comes from the Greek word psyche, meaning of the self. And don't forget, your aura is a reflection of your soul, and that contains all the information that there is about you and what's going on in your relationship and your work and your family and your health and all that. So there is a lot that you can get from a psychic reading, and I really love psychic readings. I love my tarot. I've been reading the tarot from I was so young, well, not so young, like about 13 or 14, which I suppose is quite a while now. And I also know that a lot of people who, one of the main signs that there's a strong ability with someone is the fact that they are interested in psychic. They're interested in angel readings, tarot readings, palm readings. That is one of their soul going, we need to explore this and we need to look at that. There isn't really like a checklist, okay, well, I display this and I display that and I do that, so I'm psychic, and everybody's psychic abilities are very different. Just because you have a good intuitive ability doesn't mean that you're going to be doing readings every day, all day. So that's the psychic. It is solely about you, and that is the type of reading that I would recommend you booking for. And I don't mean with me, I mean with whoever your reader is. If you have something going on in your work, or you have something going on in your relationship, and you feel you need a wee bit of guidance, book a psychic reading, because that's very different from mediumship. Mediumship is connecting you to your loved ones in the spirit world to prove that love, like life, never truly ends, that there is always going to be that contact. So a medium is a psychic or a sensitive that has trained and developed, and their power is that much stronger that they can sort of thin the veil between this world and the next and make a connection to your loved ones in spirit. Now, mediumship in its essence is evidential. Who your loved ones are. What did Granny look like? What was her hair like? What did she work as? How did she pass? What was your dad called? What was his favourite drink? All those wee bits of evidence are what makes mediumship. And I find, especially in Belfast, and I have worked internationally, that so many people are focused on the message, which isn't really common in a lot of other places, I find. A lot of people will book a mediumship reading, and I will explain the difference between the two. That, psychic, it's about you and your life and what's going on. Mediumship, however, it is about them. And I always point over here because that's where they come in with me. It's about them, it's about your loved ones wanting to make that connection and saying, I love you and I'm here with you and I still walk with you. It's not them telling you to take that job or leave that person or go on that date, whatever it may be, because that's not what mediumship is about. Mediumship is about bridging that world between our world and the next, and showing to your loved ones that yes, I cared for you and I loved you in life, and I still do now. And that's exactly the same with your loved ones that have passed away. They loved you, they cared for you, and they want to show that they still do, and they want to take part in your life, but they don't want to tell you how to live it. So a mediumship reading is evidential as to who they are. And yes, they may have a message, but their message could be, I seen you at Tesco's yesterday, or I like that new bag that you got, because that's proof and evidence enough that they are around us and that they walk with us. So a lot of people will also show a lot of, shall we say, innate mediumistic abilities. And there's a few telltale signs. It does not mean that you're a medium. It just means that we're spirit and they're spirit and we're connecting in this earthly plane. And one thing I find so common with people is they will see something in the corner of their eye and they turn around and there's nothing there. Does that happen to you? Do you hear footsteps maybe in a room when there's no one else at home? Is that something that is common? Because I know that there are signs that our loved ones want to connect. Or do you dream of your loved one as if it was so real and they have spoke to you and give you a message and give you some guidance? You know, that is your loved ones connecting. You don't always need a medium to talk to them. It helps to hear an answer back at sometimes. But you know, your loved ones are always there working and being around you. So there is a difference between psychic and mediumship. But I find in my practice that the two intertwine and intermingle, and sometimes I'm given information out on a psychic level as well as working with spirit at the same time, which is absolutely fantastic. To me, it's the best of both worlds. So all mediums are psychic, but not all psychics are mediums, and that's absolutely fine. I love a good psychic reading, and that's my preference when I go for a reading. I know my Grant as well, and I only need to hear from him every once in a while. I only go for a psychic reading whenever I have stuff going on in life, because I pick my cards and I tell myself exactly what I want to hear. And how many of you are like that out there? So I know that there's a lot of people are very maybe curious or interested about how to develop their psychic and or mediumistic abilities. The first thing that I have to say is learn to meditate. And I don't know why I'm doing this. Learn to meditate. Sit in the power. And sitting in the power is spending that time connecting with your own soul and connecting with God, that God source, in order to help build the power within you. And that's a practice that can be done alone. Way back in the day, from what I heard with mediums developing, maybe not all of them, but just some of them, that their development circle would have just been sitting in the power. There was no exercises like it's done nowadays, which I love both options, and I do both options at times with my classes. Sit in the power, but it is very beneficial to sit under a developed medium who can teach you, sit with you while your abilities unfold, because everybody's abilities are going to be as unique as yours, as your fingerprint. Do you know, my mediumship is going to work very differently from how yours works. How I read psychically is going to be different from the next person, and again and again. And it doesn't mean that I'm any better or you're any better. It's just unique to you. So learn to meditate. Get to know your guides. That's another important thing. I will be uploading meditations and sitting in the power, getting to know your guides, all different things like that. If you want anything specifically, ask me and I'll provide it for you. So try and find a good development group. A lot of spiritual organisations, such as spiritualist churches, centres, holistic centres, working mediums, they do all run a lot of groups. It's kind of hard getting into some of them, especially in places as small as Belfast, but find one and be committed. Be prepared for a lifelong learning experience also. I've been doing this a few years now and I'm still learning every day. I'm still picking up new books, going on different websites and going on new courses and workshops, and still learning as I go along. There is no fast track, there is no 6 months, 6 weeks, that's it, boom, you're done. There is things obviously that you can learn in a shorter period of time, such as reading tarot or angel or oracle cards, but to develop that psychic ability you must have a good understanding of your own energy system first of all, which you'll learn maybe through videos like this, but mostly through going to classes. So do try and find a class, and I know that there's people that offer online mentorship programs as well, so do feel free to inquire about those with different mediums, but nothing beats sitting in a group, because the energy is so much better. Meditating on a regular basis is key. You don't meditate, you'll not get to where you want to be. I can hear ringing also. And when you learn to work and you learn to develop, we'll start working with our different clairs. And I'm sure you have all heard of clairvoyance. Yes, clairseeing. So I'm going to explain the clairs for you. So we have clairvoyance, and that is clairseeing, where you see the person's aura, you see the spirit, you see symbolism, whatever it may be. And our clairvoyance works in two different ways. We have subjective and objective clairvoyance. Our objective clairvoyance is when we see outside of our mind. So we actually see the spirit person the way that you see everybody else. You see the symbols that spirit are showing you the way you see your phone or your tablet or your computer, whatever you're looking at now. And then we have subjective, which is probably the most common form of clairvoyance, where it's in your mind, where it works through the mind's eye, the brow chakra. So your clairvoyant abilities are very quick and very fleeting, and that's why you need to learn to differentiate what is my own thought, what is my intuition, and what is coming from spirit. And the way that you do that is by making your mistakes in a development circle. So we have clairaudience, which is clear hearing, and it works exactly the same way as our clairvoyance. We have our subjective and our objective clairaudience. Exactly the same. Objective, we hear the spirit talk to us in their own voice or a voice that is different from ours. Our subjective is we hear it in our own mind, in our own thought, but it comes in a different part of our brain than our thought process does. And I know this sounds strange, but bear with me. You believe I talk to dead people, so you'll let me explain this one. When I think, my thoughts are up here in this part of my head. When I hear spirit or I hear things intuitively, it comes here. So I only learned that after maybe 5 years. That when I hear stuff that feels in a different part of my head, it's spirit. So we have our clairsentient ability also, and that is our clear sensing, that we sense the spirit, we sense things about the other person, and our clairsentient ability is probably the first one that develops because we can feel it, so it's really happening. So we can feel so much with our clairsentient abilities. You can connect in with a person's aura and all of a sudden you have a sore shoulder, your head hurts. And that's because you've connected into that person's energy, and clairsentiently, that's what you're picking up. You may connect into spirit, and all of a sudden, you feel a lot broader, because that spirit person was a lot broader than you. You get a feeling of stuff going on in your chest, because that could be how that spirit person passed. You can also sense things like the love that they had, the relationship that they have. I feel relationships. I get a feeling that the spirit person is a mother, a father, a grandparent, a sibling. And that all comes from the feeling that I get of having a mother, grandparents, siblings. So I know that this is what that feels like to me. I don't feel in-laws because I don't. So they're the three main abilities. We also have tasting and smelling, which don't really work an awful lot with me because it just doesn't, or maybe it does and I just miss it. There's the odd times I get perfume, but that's because the spirit person is manipulating the air to change into their perfume, but very, very rarely. There is also another ability that seems to be becoming more and more stronger, or more and more through people that have developed a longer period of time, where the clairs that I spoke about work with the soul of the medium, where this one seems to bypass the soul and go straight to the mind, which is claircognizance. There we go. Thank you guys. Where you no longer see, hear, feel, smell, taste any of these things, you just know. And that is how I work predominantly now. I get a knowing. I see things too and hear things also, but I know, especially whenever I'm working psychically, I know things a lot more than with spirit. Now, how I work also is very different, working on both of the frequencies, both of the vibrations. Whenever I am working psychically, I am very clairvoyant. Whenever I work with spirit, it's mostly a hearing and a knowing. I don't see an awful lot when I work with spirit, which is strange, but it's cool, and it's how it works for me. And there's loads of different tips and tricks and exercises that you can do to learn to strengthen your ability, to find out what's the strongest ability with you. If you would like me to share those things with you over coming videos, then comment below and let me know, oh, I would like an exercise on developing my clairvoyance, and I'll happily put something together for you. So I hope I explained the difference between psychic and mediumship and you get a bit of an understanding of it. I will have all my contact detail below, such as my Facebook, website, Snapchat, whatever you want to add me on. And don't forget to give a wee thumbs up to the video, because it lets me know you are watching, and subscribe, because once I hit 100 subscribers I'm going to give away a free reading of your choice. It doesn't even have to happen in person, we can do it over the phone, on FaceTime, whatever is more suited for you, because I know that I do have a few people that follow my work in America, Canada, Malta and things like that. So thank you so much for joining in once again, and don't forget, every Sunday we have our tarot forecast, and at the start of every month I've decided to do a tarotscope, so it'll be a video on each star sign, giving you a horoscope for the month ahead, and I'm planning on doing that the sort of last 2 to 3 days to the first 2 to 3 days of a month, because it's 12 videos, so you'll have to bear with me with that. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a lovely rest of the day. Mwah.